Hello, I'm starting a guide series here where I will do short guides about important subjects in Victoria 3. This time I'm going to talk about Power Bloc. Power blocks are a new feature in Victoria 3. At the game start there are 5 blocks. Britain, Russia and Ottomans all are empires, and Prussia is a customs union, Zollverein, and Austria is an ideological union. This is called trade league for Prussia. As we are playing as France, and we can form a new power block. When you form a power block, you can choose your name, your statue, and these ones. And the most important here is that you can choose what will be your central identity pillar. Because we are a monarchy, we can choose the empire. If you're playing as USA, you cannot choose this one. It's only for monarchies. So the choices are trade league. It's focusing on trading, and the most important here is that everyone in the block gets into the customs union at once. Being in the customs union, it's a huge benefit. You want as large customs union as possible, and the reason for that is that you want cheap labor from poorer countries that can come from Africa and Asia to Europe and work in your factories. It also allows for many economical benefits, such as specialization and so on. So a large customs union is as an economical benefit, and the main advantage with a trade league is that you start with that one. And it's also quite easily to invite people to the trade league, so this is considered one of the best ones. Then you can choose this one, the sovereign empire. The big thing here is that you can subjugate block members after they have been part of your power block for 5 years. And if you subjugate a member, they become a protectorate of yours, and then they will get into the customs union. And this is again the important thing. Then they will get into the customs union. So that's the main advantage of this one. But this one can only be picked if you are a monarchy, not if you are a democracy. And the bad thing with this one, it is that it's a bit harder to invite people than if you do a trade league. But one advantage is that this weekly liberty desire for all subjects, which means that it will be a bit easier to reduce the liberty of your subjects to because they start as a protectorate, then they become a dominion and puppet and so on. Also an advantage here is this vassalization. If you pick sovereign empire, you should always pick the vassalization. It's much better than this exploitation of members, and this one gives authority per subject. So if you have a large, for example, Britain starts with this one, and that means that for every subject you get 25 authority, and Britain starts the game with maybe 10 subjects, so that's 250 authorities, and you can easily have like 40 subjects if you're playing a good game as Britain or France. So then that's a huge amount of authority. If you choose the trade league, let's go over that one also. There is two ones here, but one is a lot better than the other. And the one that's better than the other is this one, the eternal trade. And the reason is because you get this influential trade center, and in this game you will often run out of influence. Influence is needed to get people to join your power block. I'm going to explain then how you get people to join your power block, and for that you need influence, you need to improve relations, you need to bankroll them, and you need trade agreements, you need to defensive pacts, you need to found the lobbies, and all these things cost influence points. So you need a lot of them if you want a big power block. So that's why if you choose the trade league, you should go external trade here to level 2, so you get this influential trade center. Both this migrant attraction and this 1+2 influence is very strong. The other 3 here are worse than the 2 first. So if you're power gaming, 2 first are the best one. The only one that there is some reason to take is this one, the ideological union. And the reason for this one is that you get enactment time, and there are this one enactment stall chance. So it will be a little bit easier to control. I think this one is the best one here. Enactment stall chance and enactment time, which means that most countries starts backwards with bad laws. They start with serfdom, slavery, mercantilism, and so on. And you want to improve your country, you want to reform, make liberal reforms, so you can get free trade, laissez-faire, and such reforms. And this one helps it. For example, a country like USA, I think probably trade league is better, but it could be possible to do here, because you know the big problem for United States is that they have slave owners in the south, and historically there was a civil war between the slave owners who wanted to preserve slavery and the people in the north who wants to get rid of it. This one, ideological union, will help with that. And the reason why it's still possible to play one of these 3, it's because let's go for the ideological union here, and then so I'm just gonna form it now to show you here. That's because later, when you get these next principles here, then there is one principle that basically allows you to get customs union. I'm going to maybe switch to Britain now to show you that. Let's switch to the British to show that. So Britain has this one vassalization, which is the right one to start with. And then they also have something here, colonial offices. And this is like the secondary principles. So everyone can do the primary principle. And then there is 3 principal slots here. And the top nations gets all 4. I think, and some nations, maybe the 4th and 5th rated power block, if we look here at the power blocks. So Turkey and Austria, for example, they for Austria this one is locked, so they cannot. Only the 3 first gets all 4 slots. And let's look here at Turkey. Turkey can only have the principal slot and 1 more, and the reason for that is that you need to be rank 5 or less to be able to have 3 principles. So I'm going to show here that if you play as something else than a sovereign empire or a customs or a trade league, then it's still possible to get customs unions, and that is because there is a very important policy here. Let's see if I can find it. Is this group here called the market unification? So it gives company throughput bonus, and then but the most important is here level 3. Here it says power block customs union. So if you're not one of if you're one of the other 3 major power block, then you should get this one, because this one makes everyone in your block to be part of a customs union, and economically that's very, very important. That's the big reason why you do a power block, because you want to have the specialization advantages of and economical advantages of a huge customs union, like for example the European Union today. It's or United States. It's a huge advantage that they can trade inside with each other without any restrictions. So let's look at one more thing that has to be understood with these ones, is that these three can be changed out. So the Britain here has colonial offices, and you see, because if you have a lot of members, like Britain has 38 members in their bloc, which means that they will get mandates extremely fast. They get +5 for being the number one, and 8 from having so many minor members, and 3 from having so many unrecognized power members. And so which means that every 26 months, that's every 2 years, they can get a new mandate. So it means that they will fill up the slots quick, and then they will have up to 3 saved. And that means that they can, after they have filled up everything and has 3 saved, they can just switch out someone that is not needed right now. So these secondary ones, you don't have to think like which is the best like for all game, because I've seen tier list online and they say this one is the best for all game. Yes, and of course there are like principle that's best for all game, but you have to think in the short run that like every 6th year Britain can change out one level 3 to another level 3. So you should also use these ones that are good right now. So for example, this one, colonial offices, this one gives advantages in the beginning during the colonization phases. It makes it easier to generate more colonial growth, and the most important is here level 3. For every institution of colonial affairs you get 5 less infamy against unrecognized. So if you have level 5 here, that's 25 less infamy against unrecognized powers. That's very good if you're going to conquer and colonize unrecognized powers as Britain. But in the late game, where maybe Africa is completely colonized, like all unrecognized powers are already in like their bloc or so, then you can just switch this one out to one that's better then. So let's for example, Russia starts with I think they starts with this police coordination. This one is a block that often gets very far down on tier list, and I can agree that late game it's not very good, but in the early game it's quite good. Let's read about it. What it does is that it costs less bureaucracy for law enforcement and less movement radicalism, and like these ones. And one strategy, if you are a country that has not liberalized yet, like for example Russia or Ottoman Empire or Japan or whatever, like one strategy is to do a lot of taxes, have few salaries, and that will give radicalism here. You will get few loyalists and a lot of radicalism, but because this law enforcement institution gives less radical stuff from standard of living decreases, you get less radicals. And the way standard of living works is that it's just looking, is it going up or down from the current level. So if you have law enforcement level 5, then it's 25% less radical from standard of living decreases. Then maybe Russia or Japan or Ottoman Empire or so, they maybe have like 6 here at the standard of living, but because they have this modifier, then they won't get like completely so many radicals. And Then once they've passed the liberal reforms, they can start to improve the standard of living, and then they will go from a very low standard of living to like a medium one, and then they will get a huge amount of loyalists. So that's another example. Like police coordination is good in the beginning, but then you will probably want to switch it out. Another one that's good in the beginning, but not good late game, it's this one, the foreign investment, because it, as you can see here, increased leverage from economic dependence. That means like if you build, if you get, let's see here, if you get this investment rights in another country, so that you are right to build buildings in another country, then you can see here you get like economic this. So this leverage here needs to be plus 200 to invite a country to your power block, and for Netherlands it's minus 635. But if we would build a lot of buildings in the Netherlands, if we had this investment right, sooner or later this will probably go to plus 200, then we could invite them to our block. And this this pillar here, it can help you with that to get more. This level 1 here, it gives increased leverage on economic dependence. It's probably good to get with one at level 1 if you have a small power block and needs and want to do foreign investment, but then you should switch it out to something better. If you're a backwards country, like an unrecognized one that just have gotten, then this advanced research is good because it gives technology spread, and once you have catched up, then of course you will change this one to someone better. But and the best ones, like overall, it's this one, freedom of movement, because it gives 50% mass migration attraction and also 20% each for these buildings. So if you have one arts academy, one university in every like in every state, then you get like 65% migration attraction from the other countries inside your customs union, and you get 50% mass migration attraction, you know, this event where they move between markets. So that's the best one overall. But some of these might be better to have in the beginning. That's the second best. The best one is this one that gives customs union if you don't have that already. And another one that's very good is this one, external trade. This one that gives influential trade centers, because plus 2 influence per trading, it will just allow you to get a lot more members inside your power block. So that's a short overview here. Of course, you will find ones that you like, but okay. So let's now talk a little bit how you invite the people to your block. And the way you invite people to your block, it is if they are plus 200. And the best ones to do here, it is to do the improved relations, bankroll, and fund lobbies. Bankroll and fund lobbies, they cost money, and everything costs influence points. You can see this one costs 100, 100, and 150. So to work on one country, you need 350 influence, and you need money. And these fund lobbies and bankroll, they cost depending on the recipient country's economy. So if you're influencing a small country, like an underdeveloped country, it won't cost you very much, especially not if you're Britain and has a huge economy already. But if for example, if you would do this one on France, for example, or something like that, then it would cost a lot of money, not be worth it. Then the reason why these three are the best is because these ones can be cancelled without no negative effect at any time. If you go, for example, for a defensive pact, guarantee independence, trade agreement, all of these are things that also gives you more leverage, but they if you cancel them, the other country it will decrease the relation, so you lose like the leverage benefit you had from them. So if you do those, you have to keep them until you can pull them into your block, and after you pull them into your block, you cancel everything and start on a new block. The only thing you don't cancel, which also is very good, is this one, the investment rights. It gives you a possibility to build factories, and in cases where, like, let's take Belgium for example, it makes sense that both France, Britain and Prussia fights over to get the influence here, and then to like pull them over 200 plus 200, the only, like, probably one of the best ways is to get this one, the investment rights, and build buildings here, and that will also give you a leverage. Another way to get leverage is to make trade routes. So if you're like trying to get a country into your power block, you should go and try to set up as many trade routes that's profitable as possible between the two countries, because there is something called economic dependence, and that influences that modifier also. So this is my quick overview of over power blocks. Just to recap the most important parts: sovereign empire or custom unions are the two best ones. If you're one of the other three, you should get these market unifications level 3, so every country in your block gets the customs union. If you are like if you're a small country with a weak block, don't go up to more principles, because if, for example, the Ottoman Empire, which is the 6th, maybe they would get to 5th place here, but if they would take the level the 3rd principle, and then they would get down to level 6 again, they would just lose that principle and everything invested in it. So be sure to not fall down on this list if you have many principles, because you will just lose it. It has to start from the beginning. Another thing is that if you have a big block, you will generate principles fast. So don't be afraid to take principles that's good right now and then switch them out later. And to pull in a country in your power block, you need at least 350 influence. You can bankroll, found lobbies, improve relations, and you also want like a defensive pact, trade agreement, and investment right, and build buildings to push them over plus 200, so they will join your block. It's also nice to go here to the diplomacy and look at the attitude. If the attitude is antagonistic, like here, you can never pull them into your block, so then it's not even worth trying. So yes, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next guide.